for you challenges. So what do we do about being or feeling evolved? What do we do? We keep thinking, and in our thought process, we share our thought process with someone else, and then you know what they say? Wow, I never thought about that. How many times have you heard that? Wow, I never thought about that. We have thought about that a lot. When someone gives us a thought, and from their thought, they're interjecting someone else to speak. Evolving means also to change and grow. Have you ever thought one way, and then when it's all over, you thought another way, and you go, yeah, that makes sense. That's a natural process of life. Don't be afraid of the change. We want to see you be able to grasp and understand that evolving is important. How many times have we put up a different lion and you say, wow, they got a different lion today? And that's what I want you to know, that every day there's a different lion to face. Do you accept the challenge? You finally got the car started, and it's now Friday. So you say, wow, this stupid car, and you stomp, and you're so aggravated because it wasn't starting on Monday. It gave you a bit of a problem. But now you're able to take that same car and say, car, I'm so glad I have you because I learned from you. A car has its own mind. We don't beat up the car because Monday it didn't start, right? We are happy to get in that car and it take us from point A to point B. What's the point? Let's drive it on home. That even though we've had challenges through the week, we don't give up. We're still reliant upon surviving the week. We still put things in the usage. We still make tools. We still are able to access the tools that are going to help us face any given challenge. We will be right back with Trisha's Test.
As we are going to be facing our lions or challenges.
We're back with Trisha's Treasures.
So, when you evolve from whatever you're going through or as a person, it takes a lot of processing and adapting to what you are trying to be. And I've discovered that takes time and a lot of patience, because before, with myself, as I was evolving as a person, meeting my personality or being comfortable in being me, that took a lot of evolving and growth because I wasn't comfortable with being myself freely. And that took a lot of understanding that, when you change, it's going to take a lot of adaptation to who you want to be, into, okay, you're not going to be around the same circle of friends anymore. You're not going to like the same things anymore. It's not going to, like we say, it doesn't do it for us. Some of those things aren't going to do it for me. And I had to understand that. And as I evolved as a person, like I said, I learned to be patient And when I was answering the questions yesterday, and I answered it in the disagreement question, how to disagree with people. I answered it as, well, when I disagree with people, sometimes I say, no, I don't want to do that, or I don't agree with you, or I beg to differ, or I say it with action by just being silent and not agreeing with them. So that's what I said in the video yesterday. So it's interesting that we talked about that. So I was like, as I was answering the questions, another one that triggered me a little bit was the toxic question. Like, how do you handle or move away from toxic environments, people, places, and things? And I demonstrated in the video. I said, let me demonstrate. And so you can see me walking away from the camera. That's how I walk away from toxic environments. And also, I said that before, I used to stay in the toxic environment until I got contaminated by the toxicity of that person and got exhausted and tired and drained, and I let it consume me. But I was like, now I know how to walk away from it and not associate with toxic people or around toxic places until I see change, until I feel change. And that's interesting because seeing change and feeling change has a lot to do with evolving. Mm-hmm. When you see your change, it's like motivation. And when you feel the change, it's also a challenge because you're wondering, should I feel this way? Or should I just brush it off, forget it, and just continue to be in the same space that I was in? But feeling the change is like how we talk about in Wednesday Wellness, listening to our bodies, listening to ourselves. Feeling the change has a lot to do with recognizing and acknowledging your emotions, not being the last person and just give me my money. You have to acknowledge your feelings, regardless if someone says, yay, or regardless if someone says, you did a great job. If you feel that change, I'm also learning this too. You got to celebrate that because you're starting to feel the difference, and that feeling is motivation. It's passion to continue to change and continue to evolve. So remember, in your process of evolving, remember that it is a process and it takes adaptation. It takes patience, but no one else can give you the answer to that process, the adaptation, or the patience, but yourself.
That's Lion Power. That's Trisha's Treasures. You can hear Trisha's Treasures from hashtagging or YouTube. Trisha's Treasures. What's the take home? While we still answer, what have you learned and what have you discovered about yourself? Sometimes the take home is just accessing you. You say, I learned to do this different. This time, next Monday, if the car doesn't start, I'm not going to kick the car. Because it isn't the car's fault. And it isn't your fault. It's just what life is challenging you. So what will you do the next time? You will learn to be calm. Now you're talking to me, Coach Nisi, and you're taking it from me because I am the most hysterical person, and I get mad, and I probably will kick the car a couple of times because I've been there. But you've evolved in a space of having your peace of mind that life is not over. This is just one of those challenges that you didn't know was going to come up. And remember what you did when you accepted all the Facebook and all the Instagram challenges? You didn't even think about it for one moment. You just jumped on that challenge train and you took the ride. I ask you today, as you see yourself evolving, do you accept the challenge? Trish, what have you learned and discovered about yourself during these times of challenge? Question got changed.
I've learned that every challenge has its own survival skills or methods to be solved. And sometimes in the challenge that I'm facing, I'm not going to get it the first time. And sometimes it's hard to swallow that pill right there. But I have to realize sometimes you're not going to get it. And that's okay, Trish. That's okay. And when I learned from the last time, like one of our questions yesterday was, how do you accept mistakes, that you make mistakes? And I said, it's not easy to accept that I make mistakes, but the only way to accept it is to do better next time, because sometimes I can't control time. I can't control time at all. I can't redo it. It's just like when the situation comes back again, I'll handle it differently. So that's what I learned about facing challenges in general.
5 years and still connecting. The question I ask to myself is, how have I learned? What have I learned from the challenges? I learned that there's still time for me to get it right the next time. Remember how I said I'm a hysterical person when something happens? I'm the person that you don't want in the room. I can make it worse just because I'm a worrier and I'm panicked, and you don't need that right now. I learned to gain self-control of me. That it's going to be okay. If not today, we still have tomorrow. Should I wake? Should I be blessed enough to be awakened? I can challenge myself to be better than I was the day before. We continue as host and co-host to beg of you to see the difference in you, to see the change, to see the evolvement of yourself. We're here for you. We want you to reach out, reach up as we reach in to help you evolve. Thank you to my amazing co-host for joining me. And we've only got half of this because the whole time that we were talking was not recorded. But it's okay. We'll accept the challenge because we know you guys are listening. And thank you so much for getting the 9 minutes, almost 10 minutes. And we will make sure that you get that. What do you learn from evolving? Is it important to you or not? 5 years and counting. Happy anniversary, Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. Thank you.